Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1-cent coin. While you might think of the penny as just another piece of pocket change, there's so much more to it than meets the eye. We're going to take a journey back in time to when the penny was first minted, explore its changing designs, discuss its value today, and of course, talk about the rare and valuable pennies that collectors go crazy for. Let's get started. The story of the 1-cent coin begins at the dawn of the United States, in the 18th century, when the country was still young and establishing itself. The U.S. needed a standardized currency, and in 1792, Congress passed the Coinage Act, leading to the creation of the U.S. Mint. In 1793, the U.S. Mint produced its very first 1-cent coin. But let me tell you, it wasn't like the small penny we know today. The first 1-cent coin, known as the chain cent, was much larger and bulkier, made of pure copper. It featured 15 links of a chain, symbolizing the 13 original colonies, along with Vermont and Kentucky, which were newly admitted states at the time. Despite its bold design, the chain cent didn't stick around for long. It was replaced in 1794 by the re-cent, which was smaller, more practical, and featured a simple wreath on the reverse, and this was just the beginning. Over the years, the penny's design would change several times to keep up with the nation's growing economy and evolving identity. As the United States grew, so did the changes in its coinage. The 1-cent coin evolved with the times, especially when it came to its design and materials. In 1856, the Flying Eagle cent was introduced, featuring an eagle in flight. The coin was smaller than previous versions, reflecting the shift toward more practical sizes for everyday use. But just 2 years later, it was replaced by the Indian head cent, a coin that would remain in circulation for over 50 years. The Indian head cent, which debuted in 1859, featured Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress on the obverse side. This coin was made from a copper-nickel alloy because of the rising cost of copper during the Civil War. It was a beautiful coin, and one of the most iconic versions of the penny. Then came the most famous penny of all, the Lincoln cent. In 1909, to mark the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint released the Lincoln cent, featuring Lincoln's portrait on the obverse for the first time ever. The Lincoln cent would go on to become one of the longest-running coin designs in American history, with only slight changes to the reverse over the years. From the wheat penny, 1909 to 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial reverse, 1959 to 2008, the Lincoln cent has remained a staple in American currency. Fast forward to today, and the penny has undergone some major transformations, but it's still a familiar sight in our pockets. The coin currently features a reverse design called the shield cent, which has been in circulation since 2010. The shield cent was introduced to represent the strength and unity of the United States. It features a shield with the phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This design marks a new chapter for the 1-cent coin, but it's still rooted in tradition. Despite its longevity, the penny faces challenges. With the increasing costs of production and the rise of digital payments, some argue that it's time to retire the penny altogether. Let's talk about the penny in today's world. As most of us know, a single penny isn't worth much in terms of purchasing power anymore. In fact, in 2023, the cost of producing a penny was about 2.1 cents, which means the government actually loses money every time a penny is made. But despite that, the penny still plays an important role in small transactions and is deeply ingrained in American culture. Even though most people don't think twice about a penny, it's still used for making exact change and plays a small but crucial part in daily transactions. The penny's purchasing power has dramatically decreased over time. What you could buy for a penny 100 years ago is now only a fraction of a cent. But still, the penny hangs on, symbolizing both the country's past and the challenges of a changing now. Here's where things get exciting. While most pennies are worth, well, a penny, there are some that are worth a lot more. In fact, there are rare pennies out there that can fetch thousands. or even millions of dollars. Let's take a look at a few. One of the most famous rare pennies is the 1943 copper penny. During World War II, the U.S. Mint switched to producing steel pennies to conserve copper for the war effort. However, a small number of copper pennies were accidentally minted in 1943. These pennies are incredibly rare, and one was sold at auction for over $1.7 million. Another highly sought-after penny is the 1909 SVDB cent. This penny, featuring the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner, on the reverse, was only minted in small numbers and is worth thousands of dollars depending on its condition. And then there's the 1955 double-die penny, which features a noticeable doubling of the date and lettering. It's one of the most famous errors in U.S. coinage, and depending on its grade, it can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. So, next time you find a penny, it might just be worth a closer look. You never know. What seems like junk could actually be a hidden treasure. So, what's next for the 1-cent coin? Will the penny be phased out like it was in Canada in 2013? Will it continue to hang on despite its rising production costs? Some believe it's time for the penny to go. With inflation, digital transactions, and the high cost of production, there are ongoing discussions about whether the U.S. should follow other countries and eliminate the penny. However, it's still a deeply embedded part of American culture, and many people continue to use it in everyday life. For now, the future of the penny remains uncertain. But as long as it remains, it will continue to be a piece of history, culture, and economics. So, the next time you come across a 1-cent coin, remember, it's more than just a tiny piece of copper. It's a part of history, a symbol of change, and maybe even a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether it sticks around or eventually fades out of circulation, the penny will always